right, everybody. All right, everybody. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. My name is Gary King Jr. If you are new here, we do something called Rant Wednesday. And on Rant Wednesdays, what do? Talk about our feelings and emotions towards everything, good or bad. I've chewed out a lot of people, and a lot of people have chewed me out. That's just the nature of the game. We aren't soft around here. We take the punches and we give the punches. With that being said, I've read every Reddit. I've read every TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, MySpace, YouTube, Vimeo, every form that this content is being created on for Hoonigan, I've read good and bad. And the good and bad is what is going on with Hoonigan. Little backstory, I've been at Hoonigan since 2018, off and on for the last 6 years. The last couple years, I have been full-time. And I can tell you from my own personal point of view, this is not a 9 to 5. This isn't your average job. You don't apply to be here. You get chosen to work here. As weird as that may sound. And those dudes for the last 10 years will probably tell you the same thing about how they ended up here. You either heard a homie named Brian Scotto or a friend of a friend named Brian Scotto, then you ran into him, he saw something in you, and now you are here. And what I mean, this isn't a normal 9 to 5. You just don't clock in at 9 o'clock, do a burnout, okay, clock out at 5 o'clock and the burnout stop. No, this is a multimedia company. Think about this as the Daily Bugle. Think about Brian Scotto as J. Jonah Jameson. He's like, I need pictures of shit boxes and I need them now. And that's really how it is. And you're like, what? I need pictures, I need videos, I need full synopsis, I need build breakdowns, I need bios of everything, and I need them now. And it's like, all right, cool, let's go get them. And at first, it's fun until you realize you're doing burnouts every day. You travel to see burnouts every day. That is a blessing. But let me take away the first layer of onion. When you get to the other layer, that means you have to dedicate your time to this job. Traveling is not easy. And I say it's not easy in a sense, like think about it, time changes, different cultures, different food, different aspects, which are a great thing to have. But at the same time, you sacrifice a lot of your personal life for this job. And that's just the nature of the business. So you mix in 10 years of nonstop hustling, nonstop grinding, nonstop everything. You can imagine how that would get to you. And then you finally have an opportunity to step away and create something on your own, but also be a part of something that you helped create. You would too. If I was told you, hey, you know, you're on a record label, you got to make a certain amount of records. And it's like, well, I kind of want to do something different than making records. Go do it. They're not saying don't do that. They're saying go follow your passion. Go do what you need to do. Go breathe. And it just happens. They happen to do it all at the same time. But it is what it is. I'm happy for those dudes. And Brian, Hurt, Vin, Kakawa, Scotto, John Chase, Ron, Zach, Brian Darnell, Old Chuckles Garage over here, Old Smokey, BJ Baldwin. There's a lot of contributing factors that have helped us get to where we are now. They wouldn't have been able to pave the road for us. And when I say pave the road, they did all the hard work. There's a lot of big homie talk, and I consider them all my big homies. They're my big brothers. They're my family. They let me know how to and what to do and how to get through this industry, because this is a cutthroat industry. All due respect to Mr. Block, he did a lot of footwork to get us all here. He's no longer here. So out of respect for him, we got to keep going. The train doesn't stop. The conductor left the mission statement in the main cart, and he was like, you boys know what you need to do. You'll be okay. It may have not come off that way, but that's how I took it. And every day I'm here, I'm grateful for that. And those dudes who did their due diligence paved the way for people like me. There's a lot of people in the shadows that you don't see, a lot of players that you don't see that are going to come to the light that have helped this company and that are going to help us get to that next level. So yes, I do understand the vibe may not be the same. This may not be the same. You guys, the audience, know when everything's forced. You know when it's an ad. You know when it's not copacetic, and you could feel that. This isn't a job where you can just call off because you don't feel like filming. Like, no, we got shit to do. You suck that shit up and you keep pushing. But doing that for 10 years can put a lot of strain on those boys and a lot of strain on anybody. It's just like when I watch wrestling. to be successful, you gotta sacrifice. You think the Stone Colds, the Rocks, the Mankinds, the Undertakers were like, man, I need a day off. And when they did, it was like they'd have an injury, they step away, get a breather, and then go back to the craft they love. Those dudes are taking a breather, taking the time to figure out what they want to do in their own lives outside of this. And I respect that. And now the question number 2 to be answered, is Hoonigan dying? And I'll simply put it like this. No, it's not. And the reason I say no, it's not, everything has to evolve. Just because the content you guys used to watch isn't the same doesn't mean the message isn't the same. This is still the same message. This is still the same way I see this company. May have it changed? Yes. Is it changing for the good? Yes. Will Pros is not saying you guys got to stop doing this. You guys can't do no more of this. You got whatever you were doing before has to be to cease. You got to sell wills all day, wear suit and tie. No, they're pretty much like this. Hey, we want to help you out. We want the same thing you want. We want to see you guys happy. We want to see this on a global level. And we're tired of seeing you guys chase sponsors. And you guys are like, huh? What do you mean? In this company, things have to get paid for. Think about, I'll use this as a prime example. You see a picture. How much you think all of this board costs? When you think about, oh, well, this board costs maybe $20 to make. Well, think about it. You had to take somebody to take this picture. Take the time to go get this picture made. All of that, everything is a process here. Everything may not seem as simple as it is. There's layers and layers to this. If you want to get deeper than this, let's think about this. How much do you think it costs to make a gymkhana? 20,000, 100,000, a couple million? I can't give you those numbers because each series varies on price. But at the same time, permits have to be taken out from the city to stop a traffic zone for a couple hours, and that takes a lot of money. Certain things have to be regulated. Fire and safety, paramedics have to be there, filmers, food, editors, all of that comes into play. So when you see at the end of the credits all those names, it's not just a dude holding a camera the whole time, editing everything on iMovie. It is a series, a level of productions. Promotion has to be made because people who have put their money into these films want to see their return on investment. And that's just business. So with Will Pros coming in, they're like, hey, we want to help you. We're not here to hurt you. We've noticed a lot of cars are breaking here day in and day out. You need a budget to fix those cars. Think about it. If we take something as simple as the shark cart, and think about how much it costs to make that. How much does it cost to cut up a car? The labor, the time, the fabrication. Those boys just made that cart safer. They had to cut the cage, raise the roof, so if just in case if somebody does roll over in that car, you won't hit your head. If you've seen Brian drive that car, you know he's taller than us. I'm 6'2". That man's like 6'6", 6'7". So you can imagine his head sticking out the top of that, rolling over, then it would turn in, why didn't Hoonigan make it safer? That's what Will Pros is here. They're taking every precaution so we can have more reckless fun in a safe manner. They're not here, like I said, to say you can't do that. They're here to say you can do that. Here's the money to do that. So in that sense, it's like we don't have to sit here and sell you VPNs. We don't have to sit here and sell you male performance pills. We don't have to do that because if we did, you guys like, man, Hoonigan sold out. And I know everybody's like, well, didn't they sell out because Will Pros is corporate? Will Pros is Will Pros. The name is in the pudding. What do they sell? Wheels. For what? Aftermarket people to use. Off-road, side-by-sides, lowriders, muscle cars, JDM cars, Euro cars, hyper cars. All those kind of things are sold. Lights, off-road equipment, all of that is sold here. So this is not an ad for Will Pros. It's just one of those I could see and understand if a fast food chain bought us, some type of beverage company bought us, or freaking a adult entertainment company bought us, and we were shoving women's genitalia outside the window and doing inappropriate things, then the risk of us selling out would be there, but we're not there yet. We are trying to do this in 2024 on a global level, and we don't want to have to answer to anybody. We rather answer to one person than multiple people. And as you guys can see on the Instagram, the Facebooks, and whatever the social medias are, it's like Every which way, something has to be fulfilled. Every which way, something has to get done. So that stops. Yes, we will still take on other partners and sponsorships, but it's understanding, let's do this the right way. It's not about grabbing a quick buck to get a quick fix, because what happens when you get a quick fix? You get a quick fix and then you get a long-term break. And a lot of cars here have been on a long-term break. And it's nice to know, the best thing to know, when Corey Hossiford, prime example, that's my boy, drove the E36 at SEMA, it performed at every show we needed to perform at. Wasn't no excuses, because we had the budget to secure to make sure the car ran properly. We have a spare engine, just in case that engine blows, that the boys, the shop boys can replace lickety split. So I'll answer the question. Are we sellouts for trying to ensure our future and do bigger things? Are we sellouts for trying to get to people who may not have been able to see us? There are places in the country that people would only dream about seeing Hoonigan. So now that we have a corporation that behind us to get us to those places, does that make us sellouts? That's the way you got to look at it. At the end of the day, this is a business. And as I live and breathe and as I still work here, I don't want no corny shit going down. I don't want like anything bad to happen to this company. And that's really what it is. A lot of people have came through this revolving door of the giant H and have made and sacrificed their time. People like Chris Miller, people like Micah Diaz, people like Corey Hossiford, people like my boy Joe Fell. There's people like my boy V. There's people that have been here that have made this company. And then everybody's saying with the designs, oh, it's just another design to get money. Think about this in a creative aspect. You have a vision. You have something you want to do. And forever, you never had a budget to do it. So now that you can get challenged creatively and do what you need to do, and you can do those drawings and make that artwork and see it on a shirt, that means something to somebody. So when they see their items in a store at Zoomies and they take their mom, they take their son, they take their uncle or their grandma and be like, look, I made that. And they're proud of them for something that's in there. That's not selling out. That's fulfilling a dream a lot of people didn't have. And the way I'll wrap this all up is, this has been career mode for a lot of us. This is a video game. If you ever played Tony Hawk, Matt Hoffman, Dave Mirra, Extreme Speed, or any type of video game where you had to choose your own fate, with those games, you know the outcome because there's a playthrough. There's no playthrough for this. Good or bad, the result is what the result is. And all we can do is go on. So the first chapter of the video game is done. Hoonigan, season 1. Now we're on season 2. And now it's a whole new backing of people who want to see this company win. I want us to win. Do you want us to win? That's really up to y'all. I understand if you want to dip and say it was a good ride, I appreciate y'all for watching. If y'all want to stick this out with us and see how it goes, it's going on a global level. That's all I can say. I don't want to give too much out. You know, if you're a car guy, what events are coming up in January, what events are coming up in February, what events I would love to go to, what events I would love to see y'all experience. So let's take this ride together, have some fun, and see how it goes. And to those who say the flame is gone, just remember, Ash Ketchum found Charmander when he was on the brink of extinction, and that man rose to be a Charizard. Don't give up on Charizard just because you see a Charmander in the rain.